pregnant or whether the children are in a senior citizen's home with you. Whatever state of motherhood you are. You are in. Good morning to each and every one of you this morning. All right, let's do this. It is now 19 minutes on 7 o'clock. It's time for this morning's word of the day. This morning's word of the day is dross. Dross. It's spelled D-R-O-S-S, dross. It's a noun which means the scum or unwanted material that forms on the surface of molten metal, waste or foreign matter, something that is base, trivial, or inferior. Dross. It has been a part of the English language since Anglo-Saxon times. It comes from the Old English word dross, which means dregs, those solid materials that fall to the bottom of a container full of liquid, such as coffee or wine. While dross today is used to refer to anything of low value or quality, its earliest use is technical. Dross is a metallurgy term referring to solid scum that forms on the surface of a metal when it is molten or melting, removing the dross to improve the metal. Dross entered the English language in the 19th century. That's the word of the day this morning, dross, D-R-O-S-S. It is a noun which means the scum or unwanted material that forms on the surface of a molten metal, waste or foreign matter, something that is base, trivial, or inferior. An example of the use of the word. Hold on, I'm looking for the example. There we go. The execution of King Charles by parliamentary forces. English governance was forged with the dross constantly falling away. Another example of the use of the word, he is a shining example of a writer who can turn seeming dross into gold. The word of the day this morning, D-R-O-S-S, a noun, which means the scum or unwanted material that forms on the surface of molten metal, waste or foreign matter, something that is base, trivial, or inferior. And this morning's thought of the day is, it is a bit lengthy, but I'm sure it can help somebody. Life is too short. Grudges are a waste of perfect happiness. Laugh when you can, apologize when you should, and let go of what you can. Take chances. Give everything and have no regrets. Life is too short to be unhappy. You have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad. Love what you got and always remember what you had. Always forgive but never forget. Learn from your mistakes but never regret. People change and things go wrong, but always remember, life goes on. That's the thought of the day. The key takeaway for me, life is too short to be unhappy. Have yourselves a blessed, marvelous, magnificent Monday today. Life is too short to be unhappy. Be happy, be cheerful. Anything that makes you sad, distance yourself from it if that's what you need to do. Life is too short to be unhappy. We're going to skip what's celebrated today and get right into the information with 1 minute before news. Just to let you know that Grenada currently has only one active case of COVID-19. It was an imported case and the person is currently in self-isolation. So just giving you an update, according to Grenada's latest dashboard as of 4 p.m. yesterday, Grenada only has one active COVID-19 cases, which is an imported case, and the person is in self-isolation. Grenada, since March 2020, has recorded 161 COVID-19 cases, 83 of which were imported. So far, 12,971 people have received their first dose of the vaccine and 3,298 people have received their second dose. So that's the latest COVID-19 information for the state of Grenada. Now let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of we bring you week in review. This is Good Morning Grenada on Classic and GBN. We'll be right back.
We are are not daunted, says the GUT. President General of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, deems the action of police last Saturday as a scare tactic. To shed light on this latest development, a press conference was called Monday at the union's office on the Carnage in St. George. Details in this report.
Members of the Grenada Union of Teachers are not buying into the explanation given by the Royal Grenada Police Force that recent protest action were contrary to the COVID-19 regulations. Within minutes of words circulating that President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, was called in for questioning at the St. David's police station, dozens of teachers, trade union members and community residents turned up outside the police station, lending their support Saturday night. For some, there were concerns that the death of Grenadian-born Canadian citizen Oscar Bartholomew brought back fearful memories, and the GUT leader, bearing the same surname, was additional means for them to lend their support and ensure his safety. His assurance to the people came after he exited the station.
We will never be afraid. No. To come in front of the police station, for the Grenada Union of Teachers, for our freedom, for the 4%, for our pension, and they did it already. They could do it tomorrow morning and anytime again.
Addressing the media on Monday, he is more determined than before to fight for public workers' 4% salary increase. Bartholomew told the media he sees the action towards him as total disrespect to all public officers. He said teachers were in accordance with the COVID-19 protocols. The union's president recalls when officers came to his home requesting he accompany them to police headquarters in St. George.
Afternoon. It was probably about 4 o'clock or something like that. I was at my home relaxing, all right, as I have the right to do. Then I heard some calling, so I looked out. And when I looked out, I saw about 3 plainclothes officers. They identified themselves as officers, and they almost commanded in the sense that you must go down to Fort George with us.
Bartholomew says he was questioned in relation to April 7th when teachers took to the streets of the capital to voice their dissatisfaction. He says they claimed teachers violated COVID protocols during the process. He explained what later transpired.
They brought me in a little room, a small room and such. I would make it clear that at no time that I was under duress or anything. At no time I was under duress. I knew my rights, and they did read me my rights. And they asked certain questions, some questions my lawyer was not there, in which I refused to answer. Certain general and basic questions I answered. But what I found strange, I did ask them, are you trying to profile me? What, are you trying to gather some information about the Grenada Union of Teachers, that you want to know how many members we have? I didn't answer that. And what was even more amazing and surprising, they wanted to know what is our tactics, what is our means of bringing our members out, by what means.
The President General further questioned the motive as he highlighted the presence and accompaniment of the lawmen.
Of April, there were police presence. They accompanied us. And if they would have thought at this moment that we did not get the necessary permission, why didn't they carry us or carry me to the fort or to the police station at that moment? They didn't do that at that particular time. So they're just trying to send a strong message. They accompanied us. They knew our movement. In fact, there was a senior officer there. When we were talking about the rules in terms of for teachers, let us be responsible, and we make sure that we did that. We made sure. I went up on the van for everybody to see me, and the police stood there. And we talk about in terms of walking in single files, obeying the 3 feet social distance. And what is so hurtful, and that particular day, the teachers did it well. More hurtful for us, the officer in khaki commended me when I finished speaking to the teachers.
GUT's first Vice President, Justin Courtney, added his voice, saying Saturday's visit was not necessary. As to whether legal action will follow Saturday's act by the lawmen is left open for discussion, Courtney said. Chrislina John, GBN News.
The government of Grenada has dismissed claims that it does not want to talk to trade union leaders. It has responded to claims that the ruling administration is refusing to speak to the Public Workers Union on the subject of the 4% wage increase. Janelle McDonald reports.
The government said in its statement on Wednesday that contrary to claims being made by the unions, the government's negotiating team sent a letter on March 30th indicating its interest in maintaining cordial relations with all public sector unions, including the Public Workers Union. The statement claims that the PWU president and other union representatives were invited to a meeting on April 7th, 2021. The PW is said to have responded to the invitation verbally, saying that they were not ready to meet. The statement claims that the GNT had not heard another word from the PWU on the matter. Government added that the union was reminded on March 30th that the collective agreement between the government and the PWU for the period January 1st, 2013 to December 31st, 2018 remains unsigned. The ruling administration says it has already met with the Grenada Union of Teachers in keeping with its promise to keep the labour movement abreast of the country's fiscal situation, with a view to collectively determining when it will become feasible for the government to pay the 4% increase. The release informed that although government's revenue earnings have slightly improved, it is still significantly below the 2019 levels when the agreement was reached for the 12% increase over a 3-year period. Government says it has consistently acknowledged its contractual obligations and is committed to honouring same. But it has requested a deferral in payment of the increase, given the significant impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the country's revenue earnings. For GBN News, Janelle McDonald.
Meanwhile, the Public Workers Union has responded on its most recent engagement with the government. On Tuesday, executive members of the Public Workers Union and Technical and Allied Workers Union met with the Labour Commissioner Cyrus Griffith. President of the Public Workers Union Brian Grimes tells GBN Tuesday's meeting followed a letter written to the Labour Commissioner on April 20th, suggesting 2 meeting dates, April 27th and 29th. Grimes says they had a very open conversation.
First off, I'd just like to say it was a cordial meeting. At that meeting, we just laid the cards on the table in terms of why we believe the 4% should be paid, as has been dispensed in the media over and over again. Topics or pointers ranging from the fact that the government has demonstrated their capacity to pay by the payments, their humongous payments to Grenlec and their subventions and payments to the Grenada Airport Authority. All these things were reiterated. We also put forward the fact that the payment of the 4% and a grassroots person on economists can say the same thing, come to the same conclusion, that if that 4% is paid, it will be done better for economy. Vendors, shops, businesses, everybody will benefit, as well as the Grenadian worker being empowered. So this is what was stated.
The public workers staked their claim that they are expecting interest on the 4% salary increases, which remain unpaid.
We stated our points, and we have gotten a commitment from the Labour Commissioner that next week they will meet, or he will meet, with the other side, meaning GNT, and from that, latest next week, all parties, 3 parties, Commissioner, GNT, and JNT, will sit together and chart the way forward and ensure that this money is paid sooner rather than later. Right? The union's position is also that, and I can say that openly, that we are expecting interest on that 4% with the retroactive, 0.5% interest. Because if you understand basic finance and economics, time value of money must come into play. The fact that they have delayed payment, that money is not of the same value. So they ought to put some interest on that for workers going forward. Certainly the Public Workers Union and TAU have mentioned that that is going to be a necessary factor in making sure the situation is solved.
According to him, the unions are disappointed with the way the salary increase issue has panned out.
The unions also expressed extreme disappointment with the way government has treated with this matter. We have dispute resolution processes, and it must be respected, right? organizations and institutions are supposed to respect each other. The union, our joint negotiating team in particular, have reached out to government many times, but we have seen that they have decided to take it in the public sphere and attack the intentions of the unions and the workers, and names are being called and accusations of greed and so forth. And we, as public officers, are the ones who are the engine of this economy. We are the ones who collect taxes. We are the ones that, we are the ones that ensure all is well. We are the ones that take care of the sick. We are the ones that protect and serve. Public officers do it all for this country to run smoothly. So,
while the government insists on its inability to pay and unions clamor for interest payments on unpaid sums, just how the saga ends remains to be seen. The sounds of the cowbell, drums and horns resonating along Wall Street in grand dance are no more. The silence symbolizes an apparent settlement between the former RBTT Bank and TAU, which has been representing workers in the continued fight for certain entitlements under the collective bargaining agreement. Jared Joseph has the details.
The operations at the bank have returned to normal today after nearly 2 months of workers camping outside and up in the tempo with musical instruments. The music and chanting finally faded and simmered, and workers are now back at their workstations. They started the action on the eve of the penultimate month for the changing of the ownership guard as RBC Financial Caribbean, or RBTT Bank, sold its Eastern Caribbean operations. Concerns surrounded the issue of the right of workers to exercise the option to be terminated and receive severance pay in keeping with the collective bargaining agreement. Reports are that the union and ACB Caribbean have reached a confidential settlement. On Thursday, GBN then sought a response from President Lewis after receiving reports that all workers had returned to their stations.
Well, what we will tell you at this moment is that the workers are back on the job, and customers can look forward to be served in a professional manner and having their needs met at the bank. And that's what we are prepared to say at this moment.
Okay, so there is no settlement then?
The workers are satisfied, the bank is satisfied, and we are back on the job.
When pressed further to provide details of the settlement which was reached, the TAO president told GBN that what he outlined is all he could see. Mr. Lewis, who was very vociferous during the strike, provided nearly daily updates. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
The owner of the Silver Sands Hotel continues to come under fire from different quarters. There is continued outrage over his recent suggestion that the Maurice Bishop International Airport should be placed into private hands. While addressing a function at his hotel last week, the Egyptian businessman also said that anyone who wouldn't greet visitors with a smile would be fired. The National Democratic Congress has joined the chorus of voices expressing outrage over the pronouncements.
The big question, who is in charge of Grenada? Is it the government of Grenada, headed by Prime Minister Dr. Mitchell? Or is it individuals or entities who have no mandate from the people of this country to be setting and announcing major policy decisions?
Joseph Andel, NDC caretaker for St. Patrick's West, joining with many in condemning a recent statement made by investor Naguib Swari during the launch of Silver Sands Beach House last week. Many deemed it a blatant insult to Grenadians who view the Maurice Bishop International Airport as sacred to Grenada.
So if I want to talk to the government, privatize the airport, give it to the private sector. We definitely can do a better job, and because the only thing we will make sure is that when a tourist arrives, in 2 minutes he's outside. This we can do. We will also make sure that there is comfort, there is ease. We will fire anybody that will not meet the tourist with a smile, and welcome him to give him comfort that this country, because you don't portray the friendliness of the people if you are acting as a typical civil servants. So, but
Andel believes this should spark some form of objection or reaction on the part of those in authority. He added that while foreign investment is welcomed and encouraged, it should not be at the expense of the culture, well-being and dignity of the people of the country.
The entire cabinet, not just Dr. Mitchell, responsible for that type of behavior, and they should be held accountable to the people of our country. On the government of Grenada to state what its plans and intentions for the Maurice Bishop International Airport are. Our international airport has been in service since 1985, and it has not been shut down. It continues to operate even under the COVID pandemic conditions that we face now. And while there is always room for improvement in the operations of such entities, we do not believe that selling it out or giving it away to private individuals with their own interests is the way to go. And it is very embarrassing for us as a nation for such an intention to be expressed not by the Prime Minister or one of his cabinet ministers, but by a foreign individual.
Andel fears that with this trend, Grenadians may soon find nothing to show as national ownership.
What we are witnessing in Grenada over the past couple of years is quite similar to what happened in Africa towards the middle and the latter part of the 19th century. And we dub it the scramble for Grenada, where under the guise of bringing in foreign investors, our country is being carved up and sold out or given away chunk by chunk, beach by beach, national park by national park, to the point where already access to our beaches and our national parks is already being threatened.
Chrislina John, GBN News.
A nation's health is an asset that requires long-term investment, and Grenadians who have been asking for an increase in the number of health services offered on island are finally getting their prayers answered.
Minister for Social Development and Hospital Services, Delma Thomas, said they have made remedial progress within the last few months to advance the quality of healthcare within the hospitals on island. Minister Thomas said there is always room for improvement, but they are happy that things are moving in the right direction. She said very soon the Princess Alice Hospital, located in Maribor St. Andrew, will be providing minor surgeries and radiology services.
In short order, we will invite the media as we fully launch, maybe by the end of the next quarter, at the end of the second quarter, when we'll start to provide that service of lab and radiologists and small surgery at the Princess Alice Hospital. We have already started the process. We have most of the equipment here for some of the services to be provided, and so we are working to finalize and to do the final infrastructural work that needed to be done there. And soon we will be reporting to the nation that these new services have started there.
Permanent Secretary within the Ministry of Health, Hannah St. Paul, said they have made great progress despite challenges with human resource as it relates to medical and nursing professionals. She said they have been focusing on providing outpatient services for individuals within rural areas.
And so far we were able to bring into the community or add to the community our pediatric specialist clinics. So at the Grove Health Center now, we would have added pediatric service there. We have also added to Princess Alice, Sotes Health Center, and Carriacou ophthalmology services. So with all of the other specialist services that currently is happening, like obstetrician and other things, we now have added these two services into community and our subsidiary hospitals.
St. Paul also announced that the long-awaited cardiology services are now being offered at the General Hospital.
Prior to we having a cardiologist attached to our assigned to our staff, the only access that the public had to cardiology services was through the visiting team of SGU from time to time. Today we can boast that we have a resident cardiologist and our staff at the hospital. This service provides assessment, cardiac assessment. We also have electrocardiogram is being offered, an echocardiogram.
Among other improvements, dialysis services will be available in the next 2 months upon the completion of the dialysis unit. Radiology services will be expanded to provide CT scans and mammograms, and a brand new wing is being constructed for newborns. Trelona Charles, GBN News.
New discussions are on the table between the government of Grenada and the People's Republic of China to renegotiate the terms and conditions on the existing loan agreement between both parties to undertake the expansion and refurbishment work to be done on the Maurice Bishop International Airport. More in this report.
Due to the effect of COVID-19, the loan agreement between the government of Grenada and the People's Republic of China was placed on pause. The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a significant reduction in flights and tourist arrivals. The spill-off is a drop in revenue, which forced the airport authority to seek financial assistance from the government of Grenada. The agreement was expected to take effect in April of 2020. Minister for Tourism Clarice Modest Cohen says the government is now at the renegotiating stage.
The Ministry of Finance has been holding discussions with them on it, and bearing in mind how the Chinese have treated with us in the past, I believe, I have confidence that this is what is going to happen, that the time between let's say now the arrangement was for a moratorium for 5 years where we had to pay nothing. That would be extended now. So if it would have ended, let's say 2023 or 2024, then those months or the period in which nothing happened, I expect that to be discounted. But the Ministry of Finance is holding that conversation with the Chinese.
While speaking of the operations of the international airport, the minister was asked about the recent statement of Egyptian investor Naquib Souari, who suggested the privatization of the airport. The minister had this response.
So this is a private businessman, and he was voicing his own opinion at a session, and that our government has never had discussions either within government or within the Civil Aviation Department or with any business person. He was expressing his personal opinion at that time, and government has not discussed that. Government has no intention of doing that. At this time, I can't say for governments in the future, but this is not something that has been considered at all.
Under the existing agreement with the People's Republic of China, Grenada secured a concessional loan from the China Export and Import Bank of over 150 million EC dollars to undertake the airport upgrade. The groundbreaking ceremony of the project was on October 28, 2020. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
LIAT resumed services for Grenada from Wednesday. Due to the volcanic activity in St. Vincent, the regional carrier suspended all flights on the southern network. The eruptions at the La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent have decreased, with very few ash emissions reported over the last week. Because of the improvement in the conditions, LIAT has decided to return to Grenada this week and to St. Vincent from next Thursday. Based on the unpredictability of the situation, passengers have been encouraged to continue to check their emails and LIAT's website for updates. Travelers wishing to reschedule should contact LIAT's reservations call center for assistance. The airline's management say they will continue to assist in relief and evacuation efforts into St. Vincent until advised to stand down.
Understanding our ocean is education for life. Encourage your students to learn about marine life, water quality, sea level rise. Let them explore sciences. Encourage them through field trips and scholarships. The more they know, the better they can protect our oceans from litter and climate change. Let them rise to the challenge. The ocean is our responsibility, their inheritance, their future.
This message brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. REMLIT, tackling ocean pollution from turf to surf.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
Bruv, hello? I can't see you. What's good? But I can't even hear you. Yo. Hello? Hello? Ah.
Okay, I see you. I'm good. I'm coming in.
Ah. There you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel's super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again at Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product detox combo pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
See the savings with Spicile Optical. Don't break the bank to get your focals. Classy, affordable eyewear. Service optimal. Our experienced technician works like a magician. Trust your sight with our company's vision, where your satisfaction is ever our mission. Mobile services, family packages, economical prices. Spicile Optical is where the deal is. Spicile Optical is located in Queen's Park, St. George's. For more information, contact us at 449-1588 or 440-0353.
A message from Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority on the occasion of the International Composting Awareness Week.
On the occasion of International Composting Week, under the theme Grow, Eat, Compost, Repeat, we at the Northeast Farmers Organization want to encourage our citizens to use compost for the growing of their crops and the flowers in their homes and around the environment. Composting is better to use instead of the chemical fertilizer. There are more than one reason. When you use the material from your kitchen waste to do composting, you are reducing the amount of unnecessary gas in the environment. You are reducing the amount of material that's sent to the landfill. 40% of what is sent into the landfill is not necessarily have to be there. Because what goes into the landfill is what you see ignite or aid in the burning of the methane gas in the landfill. If you take the very same material from your kitchen and you put it in a bin in your house, around your house, and you watch how this same compost, when you put it into your vegetable, how that will grow, you'll be surprised to know that what you're doing is better for you to eat than what you use from the chemical fertilizer.
A message from Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority on the occasion of the International Composting Awareness Week.
There's
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here even when the future seems unclear, because one thing is certain: you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of it, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear, because one thing is certain: you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Hey folks, you're invited to tune in to Grenada Music to the World program, hosted by Eugene Gittens on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, Hot FM 98.5, 98.7, GBN TV, and all their social media platforms. The only totally local music program in Grenada, representing all genres of music. So it's Green's Music to the World on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on GBN with the music icon himself, Mr. Eugene Gittens. See you then.
Can you spend wisely and have more savings? Yes, you can. Learn more with Money Matters on GBN Television. The Money Matters series explores 12 top ways to save money. In this series, you would learn how to save by setting up your spending money right. Save on vehicle loans, home improvement projects, your credit cards, and even on prescription drugs. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 7:15 for
Money Matters, a lighthearted conversation with financial planner Tali Francis. Follow the rebroadcast on Thursdays at 6:50 p.m. and on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Money Matters is a financial literacy public awareness program sponsored by Republic Bank Grenada.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is now 20 and a half minutes after 7 o'clock. Those of you who are just joining us, happy to have you. Those of you who stuck with us, thank you so much for your patience. Let's get into this morning's discussion. I have joining me our two spokespeople. I hate persons and I don't like the word persons, but our spokespersons for Jehovah's Witnesses. I have the local spokesman, Mr. Martin Forde, and the U.S.-based spokesperson, Mr. Robert Hendricks. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Blossom. Thanks for having us.
Grateful that you're able to join us and happy to have you. This morning, we're going to be discussing an aspect of the Jehovah's Witness faith that has been missing for the past year and let's say roughly 1-2 months. Jehovah's Witnesses are really known for, knocking on people's doors as their way of getting to people and preaching the word. But over the last year, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we're no longer seeing this. So how has the pandemic affected what Jehovah's Witnesses are really known for and known about?
Well, Blossom, our knocking has gone silent, but our love is still very much alive. And that's really what has moved us to make this decision. And this decision is not simply in Grenada. It has been, at times, it has been international, and it still exists in most areas, if not all areas around the world right now. Because when you look at this disease, this pandemic, even though the infection rates are very low in Grenada at the moment, when we put a halt on and a suspension on our meetings, our public meetings and ministry March 20th of last year, most of the world was not, most of the United States did not have community spread. But it was a course of wisdom to do that. The Proverbs 22:3 says, the shrewd one sees the danger and conceals himself. And so we've tried to do that because one life lost because of negligence is really one life too many.
Understood, and I agree. Mr. Forde, and from the local perspective, how has this affected what Jehovah's Witnesses really do here locally?
Well, as you said, we are known for, if nothing else, our door-to-door ministry. That is something that defines us in many ways. But as Robert has brought out, what also defines us is our love for our neighbor. And with this pandemic, it challenged that main way in which we like to do our ministry. The door-to-door ministry would not have shown love to the very same people that we're coming to with a message that we know is going to give them real hope. And so we had to adjust. And initially, to be honest, was a little difficult, but we saw the wisdom in it. We saw the wisdom in changing, at least for the moment, this way of reaching or providing our message to our neighbors and using alternative ways, which now we're finding, interestingly, are proving to be as effective and, in fact, reaching more people in ways that we were not able to reach when we were doing our door-to-door ministry.
And I think, Blossom, it certainly was a shift in our thinking. Obviously, Jehovah's Witnesses is in our name, and it comes from the Latin word testimonium, which means to testify. And clearly, our testifying is about the Creator, Jehovah, and Jesus Christ. And so that's really our mandate. When we dedicate our lives as Jehovah's Witnesses to God, we dedicate ourselves to the work of talking about the gospel and making sure people have that. And it's interesting that many still use the King James Version, as we did for more than half a century. And in Romans 13:10, it says, love bringeth, it actually literally says, love worketh no ill to his neighbor. And we can say love bringeth no ill to his neighbor either. And in this case, we're applying that Bible principle, but still in this shift, making sure that we are getting that message out in different ways.
So speaking of different ways, what are the other ways that you've been reaching out to people with your messages? And with the suspension of the door-to-door part of your door-to-door ministry, I would call it, a matter of fact, does that mean that you no longer think the door-to-door ministry is an important way of sharing your message? And what other methods have you been using?
Well, door-to-door ministry is well ensconced in the Bible. In Acts 20:20, it clearly talks about how the first century Christians went from house to house. And so, and really, we recognize that a person-to-person contact, seeing somebody, looking them in the eye, being able to shake their hand, coming to their doors or meeting them on the street is not only our preference, but it also is really the best way to reach people on a very personal level and to affect their heart. And that's really what we want to do. And it's important for a neighbor to be able to come to neighbor, to trust each other, and to form that bond, not just a bond because you live next to each other, but a spiritual bond. And so we don't know what the future holds, but we know that for centuries, since the days of the apostles, door-to-door ministry was important to Christians, and it really will always be important to us. And if we can do it again, we surely will.
And what are the other methods that you've been employing because of the suspension of the door-to-door ministry?
Well, we have, as Robert says, we hope it's temporary, suspended our door-to-door ministry, but that doesn't mean our ministry has been stopped. Our ministry still continues. So we look for other doors, other avenues in which we can provide this message, very important, very vital, life-saving message to our neighbors. So we've been using telephone witnessing, we call it. We call persons, and we're finding blossom. An interesting fact is now emerging that while we've been calling on people sometimes for years, never got a response. Calling them on the phone, we're now getting responses, and favorable ones, I might add. We have had campaigns where we have written letters. We had a campaign back, you might recall, in November, where we personally wrote 2 personal letters, not mass mailing letters, but personal letters to all government officials, all administrative officials in Grenada. And that response was well received. So we're using other doors, other avenues to provide this message. So our ministry, we want to emphasize, has not stopped. We have not put a halt on our ministry. We continue that, but we're using ways that would now not cause, as with the pandemic, exacerbate that. So the door-to-door aspect of our ministry is temporary pause until the pandemic resolves itself to a point that makes that form of ministry safer.
I think what's also kind of interesting is that for many years, our organization has been teaching us that there are alternative ways to reach people. For well over 50 years, we've talked about writing letters to those who perhaps aren't at home, or for those who can't leave their home, Jehovah's Witnesses who may be infirm or elderly or disabled. We've talked about phone witnessing. We've talked about what's the best way to reach people. And for many years, people like myself who have been doing this for pretty much all of my life, we've kind of resisted that change because the door-to-door ministry was comfortable for us. It's what defined us in our own minds, and we loved meeting our neighbors. It was our preference. And so this has forced us into something that we had prepared for many years. And the shift has been a very positive shift in many ways, because we've actually reached more people. You know, when you walk down the street on a Saturday morning, people are busy. Many don't answer their doors. But when you write a letter and it's handwritten and it's personal, that letter will reach the person. And we're looking at reaching hearts. And these letters, because they are personal and they have a comforting message, and our phone calls have reached a lot of hearts.
Mr. Forde, you alluded to getting a positive response from the people who you have reached out to, who you've called over the past year or so, but as well as, have you been able to, provide comfort to people who may be struggling with the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, and their other personal problems? Have you been able to do that through this medium?
Definitely. In fact, the pandemic has forced us to move into a realm that, especially the older ones like myself and others, the digital, the computer realm is a challenge for those of us who didn't grow up with that. The younger generation, this is not a challenge. But by using now digital means, writing letters, we're using virtual software, conference software to have meetings. It has caused a level of comfort persons to have with going to the internet, going to the web. And we have our website, well-known, jw.org, that has, I'm looking at it, every day, every week, it has stories, features on how to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. Right now, I'm looking at the web page, and on the first page is stress, keys to managing it. So tell me, is stress an issue of COVID-19? Most definitely. And so our message is tailored to helping people to see the relevance of the Bible today.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Martin. I thought you were finished. I just wanted to say that this shift also with our ministry coincided, not ironically, I think, with a shift in our website as well. It used to take us 18 months to get an article up on the website. It was well researched and making sure that it's globally, that it makes sense globally. But we shifted in that very time to a 5-week turnaround, which means that on a week basis, we were able to put up on the website things related to pandemic anxiety, things related to depression. For example, can the Bible help me if I'm depressed? Anxiety in men. That was a specific topic that's still on the website. Domestic abuse we tackled also during this pandemic, recognizing that these were things that had become exacerbated as a result of what we were seeing with the pandemic, the isolation, the depression, the emotions. And so our website, which is in 1,030 languages, which is unheard of, really, we wanted to match our comforting message with the message that was being done digitally. And sending that link to our neighbors has been a real help to them and has provided another resource for them.
Relatively, especially compared to other countries, Grenada has been able to keep its COVID-19 numbers down. Since March 2020, we've recorded 161 positive cases. As we speak, we only have one active case. With those figures, is there a possibility of restarting door-to-door ministry anytime soon? Or what are the plans for the resumption of door-to-door service? And then, Mr. Hendricks, you can always tell me about the international vision for resuming door-to-door ministry. So let me start with Mr. Forde.
As Robert said earlier on, we suspended that even before the government of Grenada suspended meeting at religious buildings. That came, if my memory serves me correct, much later in June, July, thereabouts, that suspension was made. Again, the reason why we have suspended and will continue to suspend is because we don't want in any way to exacerbate or to violate the principle of love. Having people in confined spaces, close together, even though the incidence of COVID-19 in Grenada is fortunately, thankfully, very small. As we've seen in other countries, it just takes one person. And what was low can become exponentially, it can blow up. So we will continue to monitor the situation, and Robert will provide the global perspective is that we always err on the side of safety, making sure that we are not in any way going to create a problem that we will regret later on.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true, Blossom. Grenada is an example to the world. Let's face it. It's certainly an example to the Caribbean and to the United States. And you are on the vanguard of protecting your people. And it's very obvious in the results. Because this pandemic is virulent is really the word. It is deadly. And in a confined place like an island, or where I live in a confined community where we are volunteers here, it just goes through like a wildfire. And so we're impressed with Grenada and what the citizens have done there, what the government has done. And in fact, we look at Grenada's numbers along with the rest of the United States and the Caribbean every day, including this morning. So at 9 o'clock today, we will meet and we'll go over the numbers and we'll look at what's going on and how can we perhaps look to the future. But right now, our focus is on making sure that our ministry continues to be very valuable to others, that we are continuing our very protective and vigilant outlook. And we don't have plans at the moment to open things up, not at the moment. That could change sometime in the future, it could change very quickly, but we still see that community spread. And the other thing I would say, too, is that we're anxious to do it. We're anxious to get back together. We are anxious to see one another. We're anxious to get back to our kingdom halls and to meet and to hug one another. But we have to continue to put our Christian principles ahead of personal preference. And it just dictates that we keep things shut down at the moment.
There has been a worldwide campaign for people to get vaccinated against the COVID-19. And there have been people speaking out on both sides of the fences. Yes, get vaxxed. No, don't get vaxxed. What does the Jehovah's Witnesses believe? Do you support the effort to get vaccinated?
Well, when we look at the efforts of the governments, they're laudable. They've really helped us all over the world, especially in places that have been aggressive in vaccine distribution. And these are available to all of our brothers and sisters, all of our congregants and meeting attenders. And we have had a number of announcements to all the congregations, because we're still meeting twice a week as congregations virtually. We've had record meeting attendance, by the way. It's been amazing to see people flock back to the meetings. And we've let them know on several occasions that there's no objection to it. It is a personal decision. But we also, as an organization, we really follow the principle of the Apostle Paul, who said to the Corinthian congregation, "We are not masters over your faith. We're just fellow workers." And so, me personally, I'm making this decision for myself and my family, and others must do the same. And Galatians 6:5, we all bear that load. That's the load that we each carry. And for us to dictate one way or the other would not be proper. However, it's something that many Jehovah's Witnesses have decided to do, but it is a personal and family decision. Of course, based on the Bible principles of sacredness of life and love of neighbor, but also the personal circumstances of an individual and family.
Just to add, Blossom, Jehovah's Witnesses love life. We love life. We want to stay well and healthy. And so just as when different ways in which we can improve our health are made available, as even here the government of Grenada has done, they've made the vaccines available, but they have not made it mandatory. And so they encourage, and we do the same. We have never, when it comes to medical treatments and different things that a person can take, many Jehovah's Witnesses will choose what is best for them. And so we encourage, we have made it very clear that, this is a different, another way in which they can get protection. And witnesses are making their personal decisions. Many have made the choice to have it. Others may have other reasons. But the bottom line is we love life, and we're going to do anything that we can once it does not violate the principles that Jehovah God has provided. We'll use those avenues.
If someone would like to get in touch with the Jehovah's Witnesses, whether here or abroad, how can they do so?
Well, our website is perfectly equipped for that, because they can actually go to jw.org, scroll down, find a meeting or find a contact, and just it'll automatically go to your area, and the congregations will be listed. And you can contact them either through email or there'll be a phone number there to contact, and somebody will get in touch with you, or you can join a meeting, which we would welcome. Our meetings are open, and there's never a collection.
it's time for to wrap up. But Mr. Forde, let me kind of put you on the spot and ask you a question here. And I'm specifying you, Mr. Forde, because it's a local issue. Over the weekend, I heard rumors of Jehovah's Witness considering taking legal action against a local soca artist for some lyrics in one of his songs in which he referenced Jehovah's Witnesses. Do you know about it? Can you comment on that?
I unfortunately cannot, because one, I don't know about this. This is you're telling me this for the first time, so I have no information about this. So at this point, it would be inappropriate for me to make any comment on that.
Understood. I totally understand. Just wanted to, make sure and get it out there. And finally, before we wrap up, any final thoughts? The stipulations, we still have a number of protocols in place for COVID-19, and I'm assuming that the Jehovah's Witnesses are following them to a T. What's next for the witnesses, for the faith and the ministry?
Well, you're absolutely right. I think we will always follow what the government says, but we have to look at that and we have to use that as the minimum standard. That's a given. Jehovah's Witnesses follow governments. We follow the law when it's in line with Bible principles. And so the next question is, what should we do beyond that? And how much more protection should families have? How much more protection should our neighbors have? We want to make sure that not only is it safe theoretically, we want to also make sure that our neighbors feel safe as well. And when that will happen, we don't know. When will a neighbor feel good about somebody knocking on their door? And that kind of community sentiment is important to us because, again, that shows our consideration and our love for neighbors. So every day we're monitoring the situation. And believe me when I tell you, our preference is to get back and to visit our neighbors, to have home Bible studies in their homes, under their table, having a cup of coffee or tea with them and enjoying fellowship with them. But right now, it's working well. We still have a very robust ministry. We still are meeting together, and these are beautiful meetings that we're enjoying each other's company, even though it's virtual. And we'll continue to do that until we feel the coast is clear and all is safe for our communities and for our brothers and sisters.
And just to add, when we say there's no more knocking, that does not mean that there's no more love. Jehovah's Witnesses still are conducting our ministry. We're using different ways. Grenada is a small island. Many people know several witnesses. So reach out if you would like to get more information. We have our website, jw.org, which can be accessed once you have access to the internet. Reach out to those workmates, those classmates, those friends, those colleagues, those neighbors who are witnesses, and we will continue to provide our ministry of really directing people to the real solution, the lasting solution to all of these problems, not just COVID, but all the other problems. So we want people to know here locally that Jehovah's Witnesses have not suspended their activities. They've changed them. We still continue our ministry, and we hope that you will, those of us who want to listen, we're more than happy to share that message with them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hendricks, Mr. Forde. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and letting us know that Jehovah's Witnesses are still going about the ministry, just changing tactics just a little bit. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, gentlemen.
Thank you, you too, Blossom. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too.
U.S.-based spokesperson Mr. Robert Hendricks and the Grenada Jehovah's Witness spokesperson Mr. Martin Forde, thank both of them for being our guests this morning. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we get into this morning's traffic cam. And would you believe it, it's raining outside? I wasn't even aware. We'll be right back.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again at Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
This month, make it all about her with a gift from Courts. Shop today and enjoy up to 30% off selected rugs, accessories, and more. Get the most stylish appliances, home furnishings, and more. Plus, shop today with Ready Finance and we'll pay your first and last installment. You can also shop online at www.shopcourts.com for the same great savings. So make it all about her with something special from Courts. Courts, bringing value home.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100-pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going. Feel good tax.
Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
Stop the spread of...
It's the birthday boy. Bobis is celebrating his birthday today. Happiest of birthdays to you as we get into this morning's Traffic Cam. Sitting in the studio, I never know what's taking place. And thanks to Traffic Cam, I know it's raining, buckets are drop outside. Let's hear what Junior's telling us this morning. Take it away.
Good weather for the farmers. Very good weather for the farmers of our nation. Those responsible for growing crops to feed our nation. We say hats off to you. Because as you can say as a farmer, you will water your plants with regular water, but when the rain falls and water your plants is a whole completely different reaction to the rainwater that falls and wet your plants. Now we're on Church Street, right in front of the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. So going up Church Street and then we're going to go Old Fort Road, up Lucas Street and down Lotus Lane. Remember singing that song as a child? Rain, rain, go away, look at Johnny wants to play. Yes, the best rain for farmers to water their plants is the rainwater. And we just say our sincere appreciation to you farmers for your hard work and dedication in growing food for our nation. And we also want to encourage you that when farmers spend toil and labor in their farms, please do not go and steal their crops. Please do not go and steal their crops. So it's your Monday morning traffic cam. It's a rainy Monday, the first Monday in the month of May. So expect traffic delay, folks, going up Church Street to go either down Cemetery Hill or up Old Fort Road. And I'm guessing the traffic delay is because of traffic congestion on the Old Fort Road. That road that goes down and intersect with Lucas Street. I guess this is what causing the traffic congestion this morning. So we are in traffic congestion on Church Street. That's just outside the Presentation Brothers College New Wing. And we are about to enter we are calling Hospital Hill. I think that's the name of this part, Hospital Hill. Blessed Monday to all of you. And for those of you who followed Just School on the weekend, we had a wonderful...
Thank you so much to Just Cool Media for this morning's traffic cam. Every Monday and Wednesday, 7:45 a.m. we bring you what's happening on the outside. It is raining out there, so please be careful. Those of you on the nation's roads, whether you're walking or driving, please be careful. The roads are wet and slippery, so you have to be cautious. Thank you so much to Just Cool Media. Happy birthday once again to the birthday boy Burbis, celebrating his birthday today. Traffic cam. Lego to traffic. That song is always a vibe and it's how it starts. Hold on. Let me give all the next piece. Hold on. whole vibe. Yes, I saw us be dancing and jamming in the morning to the traffic cam. All right, let's get ready now for the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Be safe, be COVID-19 smart. We have one active COVID-19 case as of 4 p.m. yesterday, but that's no excuse to drop your guards. Please continue to be safe. I would look for the updated list of the vaccination centers for those of you who wish to know. I will look for it as soon as I have it available. I will share with viewers and listeners. Those of you who are thinking about getting vaxxed, I will provide the sites for the week for you as soon as I get the list. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Continue to be safe. Let's get ready for the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. I'm feeling as though there was something I had to tell you all, but I can't recall what it is. So I'm just going to say peace. Bye, people. Have a good one.